You know the feeling. You spend all day trying to be productive, crossing off minor tasks, but by the evening, you realize you haven't made any real progress on the things that actually matter. By the end of this video, we are going to throw out your traditional to-do lists entirely. Instead, we'll build a personalized, time-blocked master calendar that actually works for your specific schedule. To do this, you only need 3 things. Open up a digital calendar, pick one specific goal you've been putting off, and prepare to be completely honest about your daily habits. The feeling that you don't have enough hours in the day is usually a symptom of lacking a realistic system. This framework breaks that cycle, creating a structure that practically forces you to make progress without burning out. Step 1 is figuring out where your hours actually go. We start with a brutal 24-hour time audit. Let's look at the math of a standard day. Everyone starts with 24 hours. Subtract 8 hours for sleep, and you're down to 16. Factor in work, commuting, and responsibilities like cooking and cleaning. Most of us only have 2 to 6 hours of actual free time. This diagram shows what a typical daily log looks like. Over the next 24 hours, track every single activity on your calendar. Be completely transparent with yourself. If you spend 2 hours doom scrolling or watching TV, you have to block that out. Looking at this same calendar, we now need to map how you feel. As you track your tasks, log your subjective energy levels. Notice when you feel focused and sharp and when you feel completely drained. Notice what happens to the diagram when we isolate the data. The low and medium energy periods fade, leaving a distinct window, usually 1 or 2 hours in the morning or late afternoon. These are your peak cognitive hours. Knowing your exact peak window protects your schedule. Using this specific time for low-effort tasks means losing your best opportunity to tackle demanding work. Now that you've freed up your calendar, you might sit down to work on your big goal and immediately freeze up. That paralysis comes from looking at the entire project at once. This diagram illustrates a concept called the ABC framework. Point A is where you are right now, on one side of a chasm. Point Z is your final goal, on the distant side. Looking closely at the gap between A and Z, you can see all the intermediate steps required to cross. Trying to process all these variables and dependencies simultaneously is exactly what triggers procrastination. To fix this, we focus strictly on step B. As you can see, the chaos disappears when you only look at the immediate, physical next action. If your goal is to run a half marathon, step B isn't running 10 miles. Step B is simply putting on your running shoes. You reach point Z by executing step B over and over again. By narrowing your focus to a single, executable action, you strip away the anxiety of the big picture. Even if you know exactly what step B is, you won't do it if you're already exhausted. Daily decision fatigue drains your willpower long before you sit down to work. That's where environment design comes in. The goal is to proactively arrange your life to automate daily choices and remove friction. For example, set all your bill payments to auto-deduct. Adopt a matching style uniform where all your clothes go together, making getting dressed effortless. You can also batch your life admin tasks. Preparing a week's worth of meals at once removes the daily cognitive drain of deciding meals. By aggressively eliminating these mundane daily choices, you stop wasting energy on maintenance and save it exclusively for executing your goals. Now we assemble the final system. We are going to take your goal and the data from your time audit and merge them into a time-blocked master calendar to replace your to-do list. Rule 1. Schedule your non-negotiables first. Block out your sleep, your daily commute, meal times, and transition buffers to establish realistic boundaries. This diagram illustrates Rule 2. Look at how the calendar snaps a distinct goal work block precisely into that high-energy morning slot we identified earlier. Your peak hours are now assigned exclusively to high-focus work. Moving down the same calendar, Rule 3 dictates where everything else goes. Low cognitive tasks like checking emails or passive scrolling are placed directly into the late afternoon and evening sections. You will still have mundane chore blocks left over on your calendar. To handle these efficiently, we use habit stacking. Let's be clear on the difference here. Multitasking, trying to do 2 high-focus tasks at once, destroys productivity. Habit stacking means pairing one physical, low-focus chore, like doing laundry, with a mental input, like listening to an audiobook or brainstorming. This time-blocked calendar acts as a protective shield, defending your most valuable hours from distraction. By following these steps, you can create a time management system tailored to your actual energy capacity and real-world obligations. But here is the reality check. You cannot have time for everything. Every time you say yes to a calendar block, you are inherently saying no to something else. Because life will inevitably disrupt your schedule, build flexibility into this system. If a busy week derails a 1-hour workout block, allow it to shrink to 30 minutes or move it to another day. The perfect moment to start will never arrive. Stop waiting to feel ready. Open your calendar and execute your first step B today.